What's up, sports fans? You're watching the NFL Report. I'm your host, Dan, as always. This is the Week 4 edition. Because this is the Week 4 edition, that means a quarter of the NFL season is finished. So I'm also going to do quarterly reports after the breakdown. But let's get to these breakdowns first. First game we got is the Redskins and the Rams. There's not much to say about this game other than the Redskins were basically in the Rams' backfield the whole game. Got 6 sacks, dominated the line of scrimmage. Rams, even with Steven Jackson back, still not a good team. So hopefully they get their stuff together. Next we got the Texans and the Steelers. Texans won 17-10. And the big thing about this game is they lost Andre Johnson to injury. But they got Arian Foster back, coming back from his hamstring injury, and he looks incredible. He just shredded Steelers defense. Steelers did not look anything like last year. They look weak on all sides. Next, we got the Chiefs and the Vikings. Chiefs won 22-17. This game is just two of the worst teams battling it out, and the Vikings might be the worst team right now. I know I keep changing it up every week about who the worst team is. Now it's the Vikings. McNabb is not the answer back there at quarterback. They need to put in Christian Ponder or something's got to work. Because even with the best running back in the NFL, they can't get anything done. Chiefs barely squeaked out a victory. Next, we got probably the biggest game of the week, which is the Lions and the Cowboys. Lions won 34-30, but in the beginning, it looked like the Cowboys were going to win. Cowboys were winning 27-3 at one point in this game, if you can believe it. But fortunately, Tony Romo threw 2 pick sixes, and then the defense just let up, and Lions came back again, just like they did last week. We got Bengals and the Bills. Bills with a major letdown this week, losing to the Bengals 23-20. And I could have seen this coming. I mean, they just beat the Patriots. Now, playing a weak team, letting it down. On the other side, the Bengals look pretty good. Andy Dalton looks like a good quarterback, and A.J. Green was definitely a good draft choice at wide receiver. Next game, we got the Titans and the Browns. Not much to say about this game other than we have a Chris Johnson sighting. Finally hit 100 yards first time this year. Other than that, the Browns just got dominated on both sides. Titans look like a tough team. Enough said. Next, we got the Saints and the Jaguars. This was just a case of a strong team beating a weak team. What I mean is, Saints beat the Jaguars 23-10, so you know who's strong or weak there. Next, we got the 49ers and the Eagles. Another major comeback. This game, the 49ers were down by almost 20 points at one point in this game, and they came back still to win at 24-23. Eagles, they're like in meltdown mode right now. They need to get it together right now, or they're going to be in for a losing season, not even close to the playoffs. So the dream team, they've been sleeping so far. They need to wake up. Next, we got the Bears and the Panthers. This was a surprisingly high-scoring game. Bears won 34-29. And there's not much to say other than the Bears look like a good team. Matt Forte had over 200 yards rushing. And on the other side, the Panthers, Cam Newton is still throwing for an outrageous amount of yards. Threw for 374 yards this week. And that was his third lowest total of the season. So he's the runaway candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year, obviously. Next, we got the Giants and the Cardinals. Giants won 31-27. I don't know why this game was so close. The Giants are clearly a better team than the Cardinals. Eli Manning had a great game. Cardinals are a weak team. Still. They let the Chiefs beat them last week. Now they lost to the Giants. Kevin Kolb is not the answer. Next we got the Falcons and the Seahawks. Falcons won 30-28. This was a surprisingly close game. Tavares Jackson at the end of the game came through for the Seahawks and actually almost put them to within winning, but of course the better team came out on top. Falcons, good job, Matt Ryan. Julio Jones with 11 catches. Great game. Next, got the Broncos and the Packers. This is a big blowout. Aaron Rodgers scored 6 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns. Not much else to say about that. Next, we got the Chargers and the Dolphins. Chargers won 20-16. But the big story in this game is that the Dolphins lost their starting quarterback, Chad Henne. And I thought they were horrible already. Now they're just going to be even worse. Chargers are just a solid team, solid victory. We'll see how they do in the later weeks. Next, we got the Patriots and the Raiders. I picked the Raiders to upset the Patriots, but that didn't happen. Patriots won 31-19. Tom Brady was just Tom Brady, just playing great. Raiders, they got shut down in the running game. I was surprised. That's really their strength. But I think they'll continue as the year goes on, and I see McFadden having a great season this year, so we'll see how the Raiders do. Next, we got the Sunday night game, Ravens and the Jets. Ravens won 34-17. And they just dominated the whole game. One thing to note about this game, though, is there was 5 returns for touchdowns. There was 3 defensive touchdowns returned and 2 kickoffs returned. That's outrageous. I've never seen a game like that before. Hopefully we'll see more games like that on Sunday night. Last but not least, we got the Monday night game, the Bucs game. The Bucs won 24-17 over the Colts. Colts gave us a little scare there at the end, but Josh Freeman managed to bring him back in the fourth quarter. So big ups to Josh Freeman. All right, now that I'm done breaking these games down, let's get to these quarterly awards. So I got MVP, offensive player, defensive player, and then I got my rookies, offensive and defensive. So first off, MVP, there's no question it's Aaron Rodgers. I don't even have to say anything. Offensive player of the year, this one was a little tougher to pick, but I came up with Wes Welker. He's just so far ahead of the competition right now at his position. So that's my pick. Next, defensive player of the year, Jared Allen. I think he's really dominating right now this year, even though his team's doing really bad. He's still finding ways to come up with 6.5 sacks so far. It's second in the NFL. So good job, Jared Allen. Next, offensive rookie of the year, Cam Newton. There's no question. Defensive Rookie of the Year, this one's a little bit more controversial, I would say. I got Von Miller on the Broncos. He just looks like a solid starter and looks like he's going to be a defensive anchor for the Broncos for years to come. So, Von Miller, I really like what I see. Keep it up. Now let's get to Week 5's predictions. First, we got the Eagles and the Bills. I like the Bills. Saints and the Panthers. I like the Saints. Texans and the Raiders. Texans. Chiefs and the Colts. I like the Colts. Bengals and the Jaguars, I like the Bengals. Cardinals and the Vikings, I like the Cardinals. Seahawks and the Giants, I like the Giants to blow them out. Titans and the Steelers, Titans. Bucks and the 49ers, of course I like the Bucks. Chargers and the Broncos, I like the Chargers. Patriots and the Jets, I like the Patriots. Packers and the Falcons, I like the Packers, of course. And the Lions and the Bears, I think this is going to be the best game of the week. It happens to be Monday night, too. I like the Lions to come out again and go 5-0. The first time in a long time. So let's move on to the question of the week. Last week, my question of the week was, who do you guys think is going to lead the league in rushing? My answer is Darren McFadden. Yeah, I know he's leading the league in rushing right now, so it's an easy choice, but I think it's going to continue. I don't think the Raiders have much of a passing game. And they're just going to continue to pound the ball. And Darren McFadden is the man for the job. So this week's question of the week, I got who's going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think it's an obvious choice, but you guys have a different answer. So leave your answer down below. Be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys next week for Week 5 edition.